I've noticed that there's a significant increase in anxiety and depression. And one of the correlations that I noticed was cell phones. And in our school district, we are moving towards a policy where cell phones are to be put away, turned off. Kids don't need them during the school day, right? In your opinion, how can hope be utilized to help our kids overcome that anxiety and depression?
That's a great question. So first, we know that hope is actually correlated. Higher hope levels actually combat anxiety and trauma. I mean, that's the case with my own children. So they came from a case of extreme abuse and neglect, 5 of my kids who I adopted at once. And hope, as I measured and increased their hope levels, it combats that trauma, but it also combats the anxiety associated with different things in our lives. And this generation, especially with cell phones, they're more likely to post something or say something and it becomes permanent. And that drives the anxiety, it drives that. And so having higher hope levels, especially with agency, it can teach them different things. So agency, we think of agency as like willpower, self-efficacy, and that's true. But willpower is not like a muscle. That's what everybody assumes it's like, but it's more like the emergency brake of a car. You don't want to use your willpower. Willpower is a last resort. And so teaching kids pre-commitment. So cell phones during class, it inhibits your learning. And I show kids that you cannot multitask. I
Yeah.
show them a little video from the BBC, which actually shows them you do not have that ability to use the same function of your brain in 2 different places. So after they see that your focus is super important, I teach them pre-commitment. So I personally have a cell phone as well. And so what I do is I use this app called Forest, where I say, all right, guys, I want you on your cell phones to go on Forest. I want you to set a timer for 60 minutes. It makes your cell phone a brick. And as it becomes a brick, you also grow a tree. And so it's teaching you, you control the device should not control you.
Mhm.
And with my students having their phone and having that pre-commitment app, I'm teaching them you can have a cell phone, but you have to learn to not let the device be a leash on you, that you are using it for the good of things, not just to check in all the time and be constantly connected. It's
Mhm.
not a good thing, and it does cause anxiety, but teaching them pre-commitment, which is part of hope. Hopeful people learn to pre-commit to things. I'm gonna do this, so I'm gonna leave out things where I'm gonna get to my goal. It teaches the kids that they have ownership over different areas of their life and that those things don't have to control them.
No, ownership, knowing that they have the ability, the responsibility, the power of choice. That is a powerful strategy for our kids as they develop into whomever they want to be. But you talked about in our society, I think, um, fosters this, but that idea of who am I? You know, how is it that we as educators can effectively go about teaching our kids to really truly understand who is it that I want to be? That's not a role, that's not an occupation, it's not even a destination. But I
Nope.
do think that we could do a better job in education in helping our kids understand, how do I become the best version of me?
Yeah, but that's the thing. In school, we don't give a lot of time for that. We're like, hey, this will help you become your profession. This will help you with this profession. This will help you with this in life. And we're not taking the time to say, all right, but who is the person you want to be ultimately?
Mhm.
And because we're not giving kids the time and space to sit and think about that, that's a problem. And one of the things that I love to do is with my students is a 30-year class reunion. What? Yeah, like now, today. And I have them show up as the person they're going to be. They actually bring in proof of that person. And the reason this is important is because when you go to a reunion, it's more than just, hey, this is my job. You introduce someone, this is my significant other, I have these kids, I have this thing, I've done this stuff. You talk about your accomplishments. And so asking a kid, what are the things you want to accomplish in this life?
Yeah.
What do you want to do to help the planet, to help yourself, to have a like what are your goals?
Hmm.
And having them map it out, that's powerful because then they learn to backwards design. It's not that I randomly become this powerful person, or even the ones who are like, I want to join the NFL, I want to be a YouTuber. Great. What are you doing today to become that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because there's a disconnect with our goals and the work that it takes to reach those goals. And it is hard work. It's
Yes.
not just randomly like I become this thing, or I become an awesome superintendent, or I become an awesome educator. You have to work.
Yeah.
And what is the work that you're doing today to become better for tomorrow?
Yeah, it is. It's hard work, and success is, it has to be defined by the individual, not by society, not by social media, not by your peers. And it's a sad state of affairs, and I'll include myself in this statement, but I feel like I wasted way too much time worrying about what people think. And we fall into that pit. We fall into that um you know, that habit of reflecting in terms of, okay, what are people going to say about this? That doesn't matter. What matters is, who do I want to become?